asked you twice now. There's lipstick on your collar. You say she's just a friend now. Then why don't we call her? So you wanna go on with someone to do all the things he used to do to me? I swear I know you.
So I was watching a comedian once. I don't know if you know him. His name is John B. Christ. Maybe it's Christ. I don't know. He's a Christian comedian. He's highly hilarious. And he was talking about how his brain works a little differently from most people. You know, most people will be like, oh yeah, I agree with that, or like, no, I don't agree with this. And then there's some of us who are like smacking each other, like, I see why you agree with it, I see why you disagree with that. So you know how they always say you either choose to be better or be bitter. My accent is a lot. Okay, so you can choose to be better or bitter, and you know what I mean. I personally think that you can do both. You can be bitter, and then you can channel the bitterness into not only causing you, but actually make it a better version of you. I think there are some people who are afraid to let the bitterness in because they think you will consume them. There's a fine line. There's a fine line between being bitter and being better. There's a fine line between letting the bitterness come in and just be like, that's it, this is my choice. And then there's a part of it that can be like, you know what, I see I'm bitter right now, but what can I grow out of this bitterness? What lemonade can I make out of this lemons? You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you can be bitter for some things. Just be intentional about then using that bitterness to make a better version. So yeah, I mean, bitterness doesn't have to be something that you regret or something that you're like, oh, I can't be that way. I can't feel my feels. Be bitter. Just be intentional about then catching something like, all right, I've got to find some things to make it out of it. So there's a reason why I'm saying this. I've been thinking about how the way things were for me a few years ago, and everybody saw me experiencing this, you know, like in the public eye, and people are like, wow, you're not even bitter at all. And I'm like, no, I'm not bitter, look at me, da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden ew, sorry y'all. Alright, sorry about that. I'm so easily distracted, it's kind of ridiculous. There's a fly that I gotta get rid of, but I'll do that for this video. So people were like, oh my gosh, you're like so, you know, you're handling this like a boss. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I did not let myself be bitter. I did not let me experience as deeply as I could have. When I finally let myself experience it, I was not better. People thought I was better, but I wasn't. Got mad at God. I yelled at him. It was really, really bad. And then nobody saw that part of me. And it all came down to me, you know, wondering like, why did I feel the need to be good in people's eyes when I could just let the bitterness in, you know, while at the same time aware that that's what I'm doing, as long as you're aware, right? Anyways, I'm just like, like in this place in my mind right now where I am learning to balance between being true to myself and also being the person that God is using to bless the world, right? I'm learning to not base my emotions on how people will want me to react, you know? It's like, you know how teenagers, they say teenage rebellion, you know? They're like, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I never did that. I was never that kid. Like my sister would say, I was a goody goody, you know? And like I enjoyed it. I wasn't trying to be, to me it was just natural. But then as a grown woman who's almost 40, now I'm being rebellious. But I'm like mature rebellious. I'm like aware. Oh hey, the fly is back. All right. I'm gonna close the window. It's gonna escape, and then I can give it a bit later. It's locked in. I got dishes to do, but I just wanted to put that out there. There might be somebody out there who's like, you want to fill out your feels, but you're like, oh, but I gotta be better. You're human. just be aware. That's it.
Ask you once, ask you twice now. There's lipstick on your collar. You say she's just a friend now. Then why don't we call her? So you wanna go